Namaste and welcome to Sutra Network, your trusted link to news, views, and stories that matter. Here we'll untangle the threads of today's biggest headlines and deeper issues. Today we'll explore major news shaping the world and India. Are Hamas and Israel holding Gaza talks in Egypt? Russia downs how many Ukrainian drones in overnight strikes. Supreme Court issues notice on Sonam Wangchuk's detention. Is Kim planning a third destroyer by next October? Which Indian trading platform becomes latest unicorn? India crush Pakistan in Women's World Cup. Heavy rain hits Delhi NCR, IMD issues orange alert. So let's discuss above mentioned news in detail. Hamas officials arrived in Egypt to negotiate a ceasefire with Israel, aiming to end the two-year-long conflict in Gaza, release hostages, and hand over administrations to Palestinian authorities. This follows Hamas agreeing to parts of the 20-point US peace plan prepared by President Donald Trump. Israeli negotiators, led by Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer, are set to meet in Sharm el-Sheikh for these discussions. Trump expressed optimism, saying the first phase of negotiations should conclude this week and urged all parties to move quickly. He highlighted that the talks could mark a significant step toward long-sought peace in the Middle East. Though several issues remain unresolved, while the progress is encouraging, real peace will require both sides to compromise and maintain trust. If successful, this could not only end the immediate suffering in Gaza, but also set a precedent for more sustained stability in the region. The world must watch closely and support genuine efforts toward reconciliation. Russia's defense minister reported that its forces shot down 251 Ukrainian drones overnight, marking one of Kyiv's largest retaliatory attacks since the 2022 invasion. Of these, 40 drones were intercepted over Crimea, annexed by Russia in 2014, and 62 over the Black Sea. Additional drones were destroyed over Kursk, Belgorod, and other regions. The ongoing conflict has seen continuous drone and missile attacks, with Russia targeting Ukraine's energy networks, while Ukraine has retaliated by striking Russian oil refineries and energy infrastructure. This exchange highlights the persistent escalation and the strategic focus on crippling each other's energy capabilities. The scale of drone warfare shows how modern conflicts are increasingly dependent on unmanned technology, making civilian infrastructure highly vulnerable. It also underscores the urgent need for dialogue as prolonged attacks risk devastating both nations' economies and civilian lives. The Supreme Court on Monday, October 6, 2025, issued notices to the central government, Ladakh administration, and Jodhpur jail on a petition filed by Gitanjali Angmo, wife of activist Sonam Wangchuk, challenging his detention under the National Security Act. Wangchuk, known for his work in climate action and education reform, was arrested following the violent Leh Ladakh protests in September. Angmo's plea described the arrest as illegal and unconstitutional, stating that his family has not received formal arrest papers and she has had no clarity on his condition or opportunity to meet him. The matter is now scheduled for hearing on October 14th. Wangchuk's detention comes in the wake of protests that began as a 15-day hunger strike but escalated into widespread shutdowns and clashes with police, resulting in at least 4 deaths and over 70 injuries. His wife termed his arrest as witch hunt aimed at silencing peaceful activism that has spent more than 4 years. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un visited the newly launched 5,000-ton destroyer Koehyeon, stating it is built to punish the enemy's provocations and strengthen the country's naval capabilities. The Koehyeon is one of 2 destroyers launched this year, with Kim announcing plans to build a third of similar class by October 2026. According to state media, the warship demonstrates North Korea's growing military strength. KCNA images showed Kim overseeing the ship's control room and briefing generals on naval operations. South Korea suggested the destroyers may have been developed with Russian assistance, potentially linked to North Korean troop deployments in Ukraine. Kim's visit follows his declaration of deploying special assets to major targets. In response to the US military presence and recent joint exercises with South Korea and Japan, Pyongyang continues to view these drills as threats while the US and its allies maintain they are purely defensive. Trading platform Dhan, founded in 2021 by Alok Pandey, Jay Gupta, and Ronak Rathi, has officially become a unicorn after raising $120 million in its latest funding round, taking the company's valuation to $1.2 billion. The round was led by Mumbai-based Hornbill Capital with participation from MF, MUFG, BNext, Ramesh Dhamani, DSP Family Office, JN Financial Family Office, and Ashish Somaya. Previously, Dhan had raised $22 million in 2022 from Mirai Asset Venture Investments and 314 Capital, boosting transactions to around $150 million. The company earned a net profit of 155 crore rupees in year 2024 and trading volumes quadrupling between year 23 and 25. Its active users stood at 9,87,273 in August 2025, showing steady growth. Dhan plans to launch DEX T3 for power traders, aiming to further expand its market share, while rivals like Grow continue to raise funds and target larger valuations. Dhan's growth trajectory and strong funding make it one of India's fastest growing fintech unicorns. US President Donald Trump announced that American forces struck another vessel off Venezuela, allegedly carrying illegal drugs. Speaking at Naval Station Norfolk beside the USS Harry S. Truman, Trump praised the Navy's efforts against cartel terrorists and hinted at possible future operation on land as traffickers shift from sea routes. The exact details of the strike remain unclear, and US claims have not been independently verified. Reports say 4 people were killed in the incident. Russia condemned the US action, calling it a dangerous escalation in the Caribbean. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke with Venezuelan counterpart Jan Gill, expressing solidarity with Venezuela and warning about far-reaching consequences of Washington's actions in international waters. This latest strike highlights growing tensions between the US and Russia over military and anti-drug operations in the region. India defeated Pakistan by 88 runs in the ICC Women's World Cup, maintaining a perfect 13-0 ODI record against their neighbors. Kranti Gaur and Deepti Sharma were the standout performers, taking 3 wickets each. The Bharatiya Janata Party celebrated the win on social media, calling it a continuation of Operation Sindoor, while Home Minister Amit Shah described the match as a dominating display of India's cricketing strength. The game saw high tensions with both captains skipping the customary handshake at the toss, continuing the trend from the recent Men's Asia Cup clashes. A dramatic moment came during Pakistan's innings when opener Muniba Ali was controversially dismissed via run out after scoring just 2 runs following a tricky fielding play. While the victory is a proud moment for Indian women's cricket, it also highlights the intense sporting rivalry between India and Pakistan, which adds drama but should ideally stay within the spirit of the game. India's performance shows a strong and disciplined team effort, setting the tone for the rest of the tournament. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has acknowledged that the AI bubble is real, describing it as an industrial bubble rather than a financial one. Speaking at Italian Tech Week in Turin, he said the bubble can have a positive outcome as society will benefit from successful innovations once the hype settles. The benefits to society from AI are going to be gigantic. Bezos added. He explained that during such bubbles, both good and bad ideas get funded, making it difficult for investors to separate winners from losers. Tech giants are investing billions in AI chips and data centers, betting on AI's transformative potential across industries. Other tech leaders, including OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, have also warned about the bubble, even as companies like Meta, Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI pour trillions into AI infrastructure. Despite the hype, Bezos remains optimistic about AI's long-term societal impact. Delhi NCR experienced heavy overnight rain and fresh spells continued on Monday. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued an orange alert for Delhi, Noida and Ghaziabad, while Gurugram and Faridabad remain on a yellow alert. The rainfall is attributed to a western disturbance, bringing moderate rain across the region. IMD officials also forecast northwesterly winds from Wednesday, leading to a drop in minimum temperatures. On Sunday, Delhi recorded a maximum of 34.1 degrees Celsius and a minimum of 24.2 degrees Celsius, slightly deviating from seasonal averages. Residents are advised to exercise caution until the alert period ends. Now, time for today's piece of information. Did you know that the game of chess indeed originated in India around the 6th century CE and was originally called Chaturanga, which means four divisions of the army: infantry, cavalry, elephants, and chariots. These later evolved into the modern chess pieces: pawns, knights, bishops, and rooks. Chess then spread to Persia, where it became Shatranj, and eventually reached Europe, evolving into the game we know today. It's fascinating that a strategy game played worldwide today has its roots in ancient Indian military strategy. Thanks for watching, and for more such videos, please subscribe, press the bell icon, and do visit our website.